we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
One of the most beautiful flights I've seen, very scenic, lots of cloud. Desiree threw up on the plane, so we're probably not getting another flight out into Popondetta. Locals friendly, I'm excited.
Hot.
It's hot, yeah. Very hot.
Warm, very warm. After all that.
Small clubs.
Was found around this area? Yeah. No, that's not one. No, we're going to keep going towards that way. But that's pretty much what New Guinea's like. It's just like that. One mountain after another.
Bala loka weni amu
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
Morning, Mr.
How
Gleeson.
did you sleep?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Slept beautifully. Slept really well. May well have snored, so Desiree, sorry, but I think I did.
So she's 5:30 in the morning, about to start our first day walking. We go and catch up with Jessie. How are you, Jess?
Already?
What's that?
Good and ready?
You ready to go?
Yep.
First day walking today. Keen?
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Okay, so it's the morning of day 2. We're about to go and do our first day's walk because yesterday we couldn't walk because we had a few people without their bags. So we're going to do 2 extra hours today. So hopefully we're going to do 9. We're going to get into a place called the Lower Village. We go past Isarava and things like that. It's about 5:30 now. People are packing up their tents. I don't know how well people slept, but we're going to go and have a go anyway. So looking forward to it. Still warm already, but we'll give it a run. Across the creek. First big climb. Blowing pretty hard. How'd you go, boys?
Excellent.
Thanks for those words, Jesse.
That's all we can put out.
Fields? Pretty strong? Good. Nick?
I was trying to say less than Jesse, but I beached Esbrew.
Yeah, snap. Daniel?
Grab a shovel. Bury me right here.
Life's a garden, mate. Dig it.
What about you, Mr. Bent?
Strong. Smile, Gary. How you feeling, mate?
Not too bad.
Hey, Terry.
Hello.
You going, Richard?
Joel, how you doing?
Good, mate.
No feed.
There's a giant yellow beacon.
Possibly the hardest half an hour of my life, but I feel fantastic.
It gets better. The beauty of it.
Beautiful.
Go.
How you feeling, Tameka?
Pretty good actually.
Excellent.
Hot.
Oh, really?
I'm sweaty.
Really?
Yeah.
There's Courtney and Nick.
That was a bit tricky.
How you feeling though, Court?
Hot.
Yeah.
Getting a bit tired. That's right though.
Yeah, you, Nick?
Good, mate.
Good.
Something owed, pumping and panting.
Yeah, hot?
Yes. I don't know. That's crazy.
Rock climbing.
That is 2 packs on his back. You crazy fool.
What do you have?
He's got 2 packs on his
Did you
back.
like carry food and stuff too?
You'll be half the man you are when you go back.
One would hope so. Want the money back if I don't.
There's Desiree. Joe. Snap.
That felt good.
Enjoyed that, Daniel?
Did. That shady bit there.
Oh, could have got on my hand.
Only in Papua New Guinea.
Oh, so cute. She's going to eat Desiree. Nom, 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 nom. Nom, nom. Oh, it's eating Desiree. Ah! Staying there, won't go. Oh, it's gone. Me and a few of the boys just took a massive walk up the side of a hill. Up probably the steepest mountain in New Guinea, actually. Have to be. Not good. But this is what we came for. There's a crashed plane up here. And we're here.
Pretty much vertical.
Ooh, it's good. Good. So this is the plane. there is a lot of it, and it's not in very good nick. Now that to me looks like a red circle, my friend. So it'd be fair to assume that's a Japanese plane. Decent hike up there, mate?
Yeah, mate. Vertical. How are we getting down?
Same way.
Sliding. Fully loaded, man. Oh, you get down like that, wouldn't you?
How'd you go, Gary?
Very good.
What's that? We're here now though, mate.
Just. Going back down.
That's going to be fun, isn't it?
Yep.
That is the guilty culprit. That is the tree that it hit.
Have brought up all the ammunition and they start shooting out with the Australians. So we just wait for Joe to come in and she'll give us have brief to go through, and then you can get any photos or whatever. Because she already did a donation, so she can do.
He's trying to take someone to favor.
Hopefully. Oh, you're nearly my man, Dan. On again.
Because I said it, didn't I?
Holding the Japanese back for nearly 2 weeks at this spot. So they were coming, the Japanese were coming up from where we've just come from, and from the west and the east as well. Kingsby Rock is just down there to my right, where he held back the Japanese single-handedly for a period of time. He was shot by a sniper who was up in the trees up here. I was just telling the story of Stan and Butch Bissett. Butch would have been fighting up in the hills up here, and Stan, his brother, was part of the 2nd 14th, who had come forward to, the 2nd 14th had been brought forward to relieve these guys. Stan heard that Butch had taken artillery in his stomach wound, and knew that his chances of survival were pretty slim. They came back down and just beyond Cons Rock, further up the path here, but Butch died the next morning. Survived through the night, but he died the next morning. Stan's still alive and lives at Noosa on the Sunshine Coast, and here at in New Guinea just this year they've announced the Stan Bishop scholarships, like our Rhodes Scholarship, yeah, in his honour, which is wonderful, yeah, which is great. John Metzen, who was a fellow who was shot through the ankles, both ankles, and him and his company got cut off here through the dense jungle, and he crawled for 3 weeks on his hands and knees with a group of fellows from his company as well. Some were injured, some were healthy, and they got to a spot and they decided that the healthy ones would, the uninjured ones I should say, would keep going to get some help, to help these guys back. The injured ones stayed behind, and it took them 6 weeks for the uninjured soldiers to get back to the base of where the Australians were at that point. But as the Japanese came through, they saw these guys and they were killed, so they never made it further. But 3 weeks on his hands and knees through that dense jungle. It's hard to imagine, really, isn't it, that that's even possible with bullet wounds in both your ankles. So it's quite an extraordinary feat. So for 2 weeks, as I say, the 39th held these guys back. There was about, they were outnumbered 6 to 1 by the Japanese, and more reinforcements were coming in for the Japanese as the Australian lines were getting stretched. Ralph Honour took command of the 39th at this spot. He was later, apparently, he must have been such a man and such a commander that at his funeral when he passed away back in Australia, the story is that a Japanese soldier who knew of his reputation while he was here attended his funeral and walked up and bowed at his coffin and handed Ralph Honour's sons a letter of telling his sons what a wonderful soldier he was, what an honourable man. So he must have been an absolutely fantastic leader, and he took control of the 39th after when they got pushed back to here. Arnold Potts at this point was in charge of the 21st Brigade, as I say. He's now back at Alola with the 2nd 16th and 2nd 27th. The 53rd, which was another battalion who was even less up to the job than the 39th. They were coming in from that side over there, and there was fighting going on down to the right here, okay? It wasn't just in this spot. If you can imagine, it was from all angles around us. It was a three-pronged attack, so there was Japanese coming from every different angle you can imagine. So the only way the Australians could do is they had to withdraw back up the path to Alola before they got cut off. As I say, some of the different companies did get cut off in this dense jungle down here, and it took them weeks to get back to the Alola and further down at Minari where the Australians were. So there's lots to see here. There's the pillars here. By the way, guys, this courage, endurance, mateship and sacrifice. I think I've seen that in this team since we've been here. It's quite amazing. It's great. Each one of those things have happened. People carrying each other's packs and helping each other along and struggling but getting there, which is really good. It's all part of it.
So today we walked from Kokoda to, we went up obviously on our way to Isharava where we're staying tonight, but we passed Duniki, went through Duniki, Hoi where we were meant to stay last night, but because of the bags we didn't. Yeah, and it's been pretty rough terrain the whole way. It's been a hard day. Probably the hardest thing is just getting used to the climate, and it was fairly steep today. Probably walking by yourself is really hard. Just try to keep in a group. Something I try to do.
Would you do extra today, Jess?
I went on the extra walk up to the crashed plane. It took us about half an hour
Tough?
total. Very steep. It was about an angle, pretty much vertical. The kids that were going up there were amazing. They weren't even puffing.
Didn't have shoes on either.
Yeah. I just don't know how they do it.
Was it worth it?
Definitely worth it.
What do you reckon, Gary? You did that as well?
Yep.
Pretty tough?
Yep.
Nice answers. Alright guys, well we're about to go and the boys are setting up our tents at the moment. We're going to go down and jump in those and have a decent sleep, I reckon.
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
Falling over yet today, Gossie?
Best man on ground twice.
You've been down twice, Goss,
Twice,
man.
mate. We've had 5 minutes.
Nick was explaining just how to fall gracefully, and I sort of said, I just don't want to break my bladder. He said, don't worry about that, just don't break your head. 30 seconds later, down he goes. Yep.
Good work, Nick.
With grace and style.
How you feeling, Jess?
Great.
Where are we, mate?
We're at Alola right now.
Cool. You going, Musica?
Good.
Woken up yet?
No.
Daniel? Feeling good? Tamika behind there.
Smashing.
And here comes Josh Moore testing out the load limit on this bridge like never before.
It's like a Mack truck going over a spaghetti bridge.
And the only reason is because he's got such a heavy pack, that's what we mean.
Yeah. Like a Mack truck with concrete going over a spaghetti bridge. Good G music.
Feel cool.
the thought is that the mountain gun was up here. When we get down the other side and cross the creek and walk up, you can see the Australian trenches on the side of the path.
So they were sitting here and just bang across.
Bang across. The Australians trying to come up there. In
Good
the
luck.
end, they came around.
Around the right hand side.
Yeah, and took them from behind. This is when the Japanese were withdrawing. The Australians were started to push them back. So that's part of a little campsite. Yeah. So that's Aurora Creek. You can hear racing down there. So we'll go down there and cross that creek.
Ready to go? Thank you. Was not. This is our campsite at Templeton's 2.
That's it.
This is generally the boys have come in beforehand and set up all our tents. Typical 2-man tent. Inside. What do we got inside? Not much. Bags, cells. This is what we sleep on. I've bought a little pillow, sleeping mat. And that's. We're at Templeton's 2 and we're about to head down for a swim. Yep. Because I think we've all earned it, Dilgs, and the kids are pretty pumped. And we're in the Templeton's 2 grave campsite, which is good. And about to go and have a dip. Excuse the white body.
We're back on track. We've caught up an hour and a half.
We are, BIT.
Yep.
Give us a wave, Cord. Bit of a wash. Gossy. Woozler, male model, centerfold, 2008. Let himself go a little bit, but he's still looking pretty sharp.
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we?
Back up.
Let's go, rock and roll.
Not as fast as some of you boys.
What do you think of the climb?
So much fun. Very tough.
You alright?
Are we here, Jesse?
Yep.
Yay!
Have a guess how long it took us.
Huh? How long?
Took us 35 minutes.
Oh, you did crazy.
What?
Isn't it taking out 10, wasn't it? Smash the pants off it.
Guinness Book of Records.
I reckon you would have taken 40 minutes.
Yeah. Sweet, loving it.
Hey, Jess. Not really. We're here though. Are we?
Yeah.
Hey Jess,
Yeah.
how you going?
Good. Yourself?
All right, happy to be up here.
What do you think of the climb?
Climb was good, yeah.
Smashed it? Oh, I didn't get that.
Booyah! On day one, I said climbing from Hoy to Daneki was the hardest half hour of my life.
Well done, big fella.
That's just been eclipsed. But I'm feeling so much better today than I was that day. Well done, Jess.
More.
Big fella.
Sign the
Work deal go. Currently we're on our way up to Myola to see where the biscuit bombing occurred during the war, and we're at a little place called Bombers at the moment. If you have a look down here, it's probably aptly named because there's a undetonated bomb just chilling out. You might wonder why that's there, but if you have a look on this side where Jess is about to point the camera, this massive crater that is here came to be during the war when I'm not sure if it was Australian or a Japanese plane, but a plane crash landed and created that big crater. There's also a few of the propeller wings and stuff here, and if we go up over this way past where Amos is sitting, we'll can see a bit more of the wreckage. So 60 years on, or 60 odd years on, still bits and pieces to be found. Do you know, Amos, if it was an Australian plane or a Japanese plane? American plane it was, there you go. Fantastic, so
There's a few more bits over.
something else we missed still here at Bombers. If Jess, you want to pop round here, you can see that's actually, this is actually the wheel, the landing wheel of the plane. Oh, good years were around back in the day. All weather, well, that stands a test because it's been 60 years and it's still standing up, so it's doing well. Also made in the USA, so a bit more evidence that it was an American plane there. But I can't get over the size of it. Can you, Mr. Dilger?
I've seen some big things, big man. But
big
not
man.
big holes. Like that one.
So yeah, I wouldn't have liked to have been the person coming down in that, because that's a big hole. So this is where we've come from, on our way from Bombers up to Myola. Pretty typical of what you see here on the Kokoda Track. Lots of tall trees, dense forest, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, if we go past these guys, this is the Myola Plains where the biscuit bombing was, and as you can see, it's a bit of an anomaly in what you see in on this track.
There's the village in the back. That's the size of the thing.
The village all the way in as we zoom in. Hands are a bit shaky, a bit tired. There you go. So what were you going to say, Jess?
This is where the Australian troops came to get their supplies.
Yep.
Because it was the only really open spot that the aeroplanes could drop them. There's no way you can do it in the bush.
Yeah, definitely.
Such a sitting duck as well. All the mountains, you've got snipers everywhere.
Yeah.
Dropped it there. Sitting duck. Just sit up here as a colonel or something like that and just say, that guy there, and you're gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Would have been tough if you got called, oh, you got to go get the biscuits, eh?
There was a story there where...
It's a double meaning when Nan asks you to go get the biscuits now, isn't it?
certainly is. The story where the Australians were waiting for supplies to come in, and they arrived just a couple of days late, and the Japanese had pinned the Aussies down, so they had to move out, which of course then left the supplies for the Japanese to get. So the Australians, or those that remained, actually went through and destroyed most of the ammunition and carried out what they could, and opened up all the tins of bully beef and the rice, and urinated on the rice and spoiled the food so that the Japanese couldn't eat it. But unfortunately for those Japanese soldiers, being as hungry as they were, a lot of them chose to eat it anyway, and of course ended up quite ill, and which often resulted in death. But it's pretty amazing. Just out here, we haven't seen an area even a hundredth of the size of this. Is just flat land, and now just out of nowhere it's just open plains. It's quite remarkable.
Down here on the flats, some of the villagers plant carrots, cabbages and
Potatoes.
And carry it up to an airstrip not far from here, and
Not far for them, that is.
yeah, not far for them, probably a mile for us, and let's get flown into Port Moresby where it's sold.
Fantastic work.
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
Well, from Isirava we went to across Yora Creek and up to or down to Templeton's 2, where we camped the night.
On the same day we went to the Japanese weapon pits, and there was big foxholes there where they used to hide in, and some like went on forever, you couldn't even see where they went to.
And then at Templeton's 2 we went for a swim and it was really cold, and that night the boys sang to us, which was pretty awesome, and they got everyone involved later on when I went to bed.
Yeah. Then we woke up next morning about 5 o'clock, as we do every morning, and headed off to where we are now, which is Naduri. On the way, we went up to Templeton's 2, which is Templeton's 1, which is after Templeton's 2. Across Yora Creek again, which was a bit unsteady. We had to take our packs off to do that, and that was a bit scary.
Yeah.
Then we kept going up and up and up and up and up to Mount Bellamy. And that's the highest point. Is it 2,100 metres?
Yeah.
So that's the highest point of the
Crazy.
trek.
But we couldn't see anything because it was cloudy. But
Which kind of sucked. But apparently you can see Kokoda from there up the top. That's where we started. And then we continued on back down to where we are now. Some of the boys went to Myola, which was where they did biscuit bombing. Apparently it's just completely open playing fields, and it's pretty awesome. And we've got videos and that of that. And then we stayed here last night. And
some of the porters are from this village.
yeah, well most of the porters are from this village.
Andy's the chief.
And and then they got all the villagers to come out and they sang to us and sang some pretty cool songs and got us pretty pumped and motivated, and it was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
They gave us all little like flower necklaces and bouquets and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a pretty good night. It's definitely been my highlight so far.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And
Good sleep last night.
there's roosters. There was a cow walking around our tent eating, and someone spotlighted me for 10 minutes in my tent. I don't know what was going on last night. It was pretty bad sleep, but it was okay.
I slept alright.
Did you get woken up?
Woken up
Yeah.
by roosters. Yes.
Yes.
This rooster started darkening at about 2 o'clock this morning. It was calling to the other rooster on the other side of the valley, and yeah, that was kind of stupid. But yeah, and sleeping till 6 this morning because it's only half a day. So, and we're going down to check out the school.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the oldest, the last fuzzy Angel, isn't he?
Yeah, so he'll be pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
that'd
awesome.
be
And
awesome.
that's Andy's dad. Yeah.
And my porter's grandfather apparently.
So yeah, a few connections there, but they'd be pretty good to see too. Yeah. So we're having a good time. It's tough, but it's
Arise from the stars of this land. Let us sing of our joys to be free. Praising God and rejoicing to be. Papua New Guinea. Saturday from the mountain to sea. Papua New Guinea. Let us raise our voices and proclaim. Papua New Guinea. Now we stand to the good Lord above. For His kindness is free from love. For this land of our fathers are free. Papua New Guinea.
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
It was one of the Australian Army's greatest feats of arms. It ranks with Gallipoli, the light horse charge, Long Tang, and is an example of courage, sacrifice. Here the diggers were defending Australian mandated territory. The Battle of Brigade Hill was fought between the 6th and the 9th of September 1942. On the Australian side was the 2nd 14th, the 2nd 16th and the 2nd 27th Battalions of the 21st Brigade, which was commanded by Brigadier Arnold Potts. The 2nd 14th and the 2nd 16th were down to 25% of their usual numbers, totalling 400 men. The 600 men of the 22nd 2nd 27th were exhausted after a 4-day forced march from their base area. They had no artillery, heavy machine guns or trenching tools. The medical supplies were meagre. They were outnumbered by the Japanese by over 6 to 1. In addition to their existing frontline troops, the Japanese brought in an additional 1,500 fresh troops. The Japanese had mountain guns, heavy mortars and heavy machine guns. So on the 6th of September, the Australians were issued 2 days' rations. It was not known at the time that some of the Aussies, it would be the last rations for the next 14 days. After nightfall, the Australians on Mission Ridge, which was, I hope you all saw that as we were coming out of a fogey, had the unsettling experience of watching a lantern-lit approach of the enemy from a fogey. On the 7th of September, Brigade Headquarters called in an airstrike to bomb and hold back the Japanese in a fogey. This caused numerous casualties to the enemy, raising the morale of the Aussies and gave them time to dig in on Mission Ridge and Brigade Hill. The following day, the 2nd 27th were positioned on Mission Ridge and the 2nd 14th were further up the ridge towards Brigade Hill. On the 2nd 16th were on Brigade Hill defending Brigade Headquarters. The Aussies dug in using steel helmets, bayonets and tin cups. Such was the degree of the slope with some of the trenches that they were dug in, they were 2 metres high on the upper side and less than 1 metres deep on the lower side. During the morning, the Japanese bombarded the Australian positions, then attacked in force. The din of battle could not be imagined. In resisting 8 massed assaults during the morning, A Company of the 2nd 27th used their entire supplies of 1,200 grenades and 100 rounds of ammunition per man, plus their reserve supplies. The Japanese made a huge outflanking movement from the west to bypass the 2nd 22nd and made a direct attack on Brigade Headquarters. It now became 2 battles, Mission Ridge and Brigade Hill. Brigade Headquarters became besieged. The telephone cable was cut and wireless communication was intimate. All headquarters staff, guards, signals, clerks, cooks, storemen, aged between 35 and 45, nicknamed the Old and the Bold and the Toothless and the Ruthless, were now fighting for their lives. Only 4 men, including the Brigadier himself, were not firing weapons. Although completely surrounded and involved in a desperate struggle on Mission Ridge, the 2nd 27th, aware of the danger to Brigade Headquarters, made a bold and courageous attack through the Japanese lines to allow Headquarters to escape back to Minari. Under cover of darkness and in driving rain, the remaining Australians were able to withdraw down the steep slope. So some of the Australians withdrew straight down that way. They had nowhere else to go because the Japanese had now taken the headquarters further down this track. So on the 9th of September, the Japanese had captured Minari and cut off the track to the Australians' withdrawal. The cut-off Australians had no native bearers but still managed to take their wounded. Some groups of Aussies were in bush for 2 weeks and had gradually found their way back to base. They had no rations and no way of communicating. There were 68 Australians killed here on Brigade Hill, and it's often referred to as Butcher's Hill because of the nature of the battle that took place here. There was just a couple of personal stories. There was a fellow, Corporal Language, and he could see that the situation the Aussies were in, and he took off his dog tags and he got his paybook out of his pocket and he handed it to his mate, and he got out of the trench and off he went, never to be seen again, of course. There was many stories of lots of heroes like that. Another fellow at Mission Ridge, he survived the Mission Ridge battle and got back here to Brigade Hill, and Brigadier Potts said, well, you're going to get a Victoria Cross for your bravery. And he said that cause for celebration. He lit a cigarette, which gave away his position. He was shot right there and then. This was a really bloody battle on this particular spot. Mission Ridge and Brigade Hill were quite significant. Okay. On the inscription here it reads, "They are not dead, not even broken. Only their dust has gone back to earth. For they essential they, shall have rebirth whenever a word of them is spoken." Courtney, if you'd like to read your Fuzzy Wuzzy Angel dedication, please.
As a dedication to the memory of the Fuzzy Wuzzy Angels, I'll now read the following diary extract. As stretcher bearers, the natives were excellent. They can get stretchers over seemingly impossible barriers and not only get them over, but give the patient a comparatively comfortable ride as well. The care which they show to the patient is magnificent. Every need which they can fulfil is fulfilled. The night finds the stretcher still on the track. If the night finds the stretcher still on the track, they will find a level spot beside the track and build a shelter over the patient. They will make him as comfortable as possible, get him water and feed him if any food is available. They sleep 4 each side of the stretcher, and if the patient moves or requires any attention during the night, it is instantly given. The labour of carrying was extremely arduous, but was never shrieked, and the natives practically never left the patient until they had brought him to his destination, Major Magary 2nd 6th Field Ambulance.
Thanks, Courtney. And Richard the Ode.
They went, pardon me, they went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb and true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end. Against odds uncounted, they fell with their faces to the foe. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Have a minute's silence. Thanks.
Did I what?
Did you just kill those summits?
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
9 fast peaks, mate, because they're all wrong. Hurt time.
Just for everyone at home, I'm pretty sure there was 20 fast peaks, not 9.
20.
How many fast peaks did you count, Jesse?
None. I wasn't counting.
I counted about 35. Shows what my idea of a false peak is, doesn't it?
We're at the top.
Well done.
Job, Tony.
Conquered another one.
Solid effort. Already giving you a high five. Well done. Oh, Court was there early. Well done, Gary. Harry Gary. Harry Gary. Well done, son.
We're on day 7 and we did an extra 4 hours today, so we come from Minari. Where were we supposed to camp? Nauru. But we did an extra 4 hours today to get here. Bit of campsite and stuff.
And it's got a river.
And it's got a river, yeah.
Well, just after we went and had lunch at Nauru, we went up the 9 false peaks, which, well, once we hit the top it was really 6, but there were 3 on the way down.
And down went for 3 hours.
Maury counted 35 false peaks. Tomorrow the normal campsite is at Wali, but we're going to go the extra walk and go to Goldie Creek, so Goldie River. So then the last day is only a 45-minute walk up.
What's that mean for tomorrow in terms of
massive
walk?
Tomorrow we're going up the, well, our start is just straight up.
It's only just up
and
there.
then we've got to go over. Got 2 climbs, and our second climb is up the Golden Stairway.
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
Meters above sea level. There we go.
Oh, that's gross.
That was tough.
고민은 어때?
Yeah.
누구 누구 아따 리버 고민아. Nick.
Hi.
Nick.
There we go. Okay, today, which is our second last day, we left Offie Creek. We headed straight up to a peak, then we headed straight back down the peak. But where we went to first was on the war side. It's as far as the Japanese got, and then Australia pushed them back. Urawara or something. So, yeah. We went straight down for a while. It actually seemed like a long time. So anyone else want to go from there?
It was 9, I think, creek crossings.
The same
crossings.
river.
But it was the same river. It just zigzagged. And we had a major one where the water went up to our hips near the end of the day.
Where did we have lunch?
We had lunch at, was it 4:40?
Yeah, 4:40, which is just a little place there.
The spot.
We had noodles again.
Noodles again.
Over noodles. Then we continued up Imita Ridge.
And up and up and up.
So up and up and up. That was our last massive climb besides tomorrow. Got through that. The boys cheered us all up when we got to the top, so that was pretty cool. And then
down.
Down again.
Down.
It was very
for
slippery.
like 2 hours.
And then crossed
This river.
that river,
Goldie River.
and here we are, ready for our last day tomorrow, 45 minutes.
I think the best thing so far has been getting to Brigade Hill, where we had a service to remember all the huge battle that happened there between Japanese and the Australians. It's pretty big. My favourite thing so far would be Goldie River, like all the creek crossings, and I thought they were really fun to walk through the water and really slip over and everything. So that was my favourite.
My favourite thing so far has probably been meeting the people, getting to know Papua New Guinea's culture a bit. Just the way they live is so different to us, and they're pretty nice people, and they're pretty great people too, so yeah, that.
My favourite thing so far is Benji. Yeah, he just gets us all pumped up, ready to go again, and the head porter has been leading us the whole time. And yeah.
He's got awesome calf muscles.
He's
massive.
When me, Gary and Dilga made a rapid back
We
up,
dammed up the river.
Where was it? Was it at Midori?
Yeah, no, it was
Foggy.
place up in the Midori.
It was a foggy.
Yeah, it was a fogey, yeah.
Yeah, back at Foggy, and also probably when we got to Midori, and when all the kids came out and started singing for us that night.
To tomorrow, probably getting back to the hotel and having a hot shower and using soap and eating some decent food. About it.
I'm probably looking forward to going up through the arches at the end. Just the amazing feeling. I know we finally completed it. It's all been worth it.
I'm looking forward to the arches as well, and just eating some decent food, not some camp stuff, actually something that's got meat on it.
The challenge of course. Probably knowing that with how many kilometres we've covered through the 8 days of walking, and probably getting to the cemetery there.
Going through the arches and knowing that I've completed the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
So it is the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yep, so far.
Yeah, same. Alright, so we've got 45 minutes to go tomorrow morning, then we're up and about, and I think we plan to leave at 7 and get up there by about 8. And there's meant to be people up there waiting to meet us for lunch. We should be
sandwiches.
We should be interesting at 8 o'clock, but
And Coke.
8 o'clock sandwiches.
and Coke. Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
Just about to embark on our final 45 minutes.
20 seconds.
20 seconds away.
Get Benji.
Benji's giving the call. Yeah, well,
It's going to be loud.
get excited.
Yep, Hans, can you?
Giving the countdown, Wuzza.
Because
10.
it's been adjusted for somebody else.
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Are we ready?
Yeah!
Who are we?
Backtrack!
Who are we?
Backtrack!
Let's go, rock and roll.
Here they come, the final bit, through the arches.
Are we ready?
Yes!
Are we ready?
Yes!
Who are we?
Backtrack!
Who are we?
Backtrack!
Hey!
Oh, there'll be joy when the work is done. Joy when the reapers gather home.
Come, Courtney. 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 Well done. Well done, Dan. Good on you, Terry.
Thanks,
Yay,
John.
Richo. Hey, Nick. Tamika. Jess. Mark. Gary, well done. Tone. Nick, well done. Josh. Good boy.
Big man.
Andrew. Desiree. Carol.
Pupa, pupa, pupa. Hooray! Pupa, pupa. Hooray! Who are we? Track!
3 cheers for our crew. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! This is where they've just walked over.
Crazy, we're finished.
One more time. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, let's go Tassie! That is one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life.
So we're here at the Bamana War Cemetery. I'm going to go down and have a look at a few of the graves that are here.
When we must say goodbye, soon you'll be walking far across the hills. While you are away, oh please remember us. When you return, you'll find us waiting still. Now is the hour when we must say goodbye. Soon you'll be walking far across the hills. While you are away, oh please remember us. When you return, you'll find us waiting still. When you return, you'll find us waiting still.